and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Pam Asbury with Ribbons and the Wreath, and today we're going to do a tutorial on how to make this beautiful lemon bow. So if you're watching this and you purchased my bow kit from Etsy, this is the tutorial that I promised you on how to create this beautiful bow. So please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also click on that bell so you'll get notifications when I upload a new video or actually go live. So here we go. This is the kit that you get when you purchase it on Etsy, and you get 5.5 yards of ribbon, and then you get a pipe cleaner to hold that bow together. So this is all you need to make this beautiful lemon bow. And I'm going to move that out of the way. So I'm just going to lay my pieces out here. And there's your pipe cleaner. And then your center piece for your bow. And then your tails. And I went ahead and dovetailed the tails for you, and I dovetailed this center ribbon for you as well. And then this is the one that you make all those loops with. So I'm going to move you down just so you can see my hands a little bit better, a little closer. And we're going to start out with the actual center loop bow. So just measure those about the same size, length, and then come up and give yourself a center loop. Now, I usually make my center loop about 2.5 inches, and then just gather it up right there, and then twist one of those ribbons to match the other one. And then I'm going to use, I went downstairs and just got a chip clip to hold that until I'm done, because that's going to be one of the last things I put together. Then I'm going to take these two tails, and in this bow I gave you 2 tails up and 2 tails down. Now if you don't want to use these 2 tails up, you can just make your tails like this. But if you want to do 2 tails up, 2 tails down, just crisscross them like that in the middle, and then we'll come and pick that up in the end. So let's start with our actual loops. So come down to the end of your loops, and we are going to have 2 loops, one on each side, at 4.5 inches. So measure out your 4.5 inches. Now, if you don't get it exactly 4.5 inches, you'll be fine, because I gave you a little extra ribbon in your kit. So there's 4.5 inches. And then at the end, I'm just going to scrunch it together. And I hold usually in my right hand because I'm right-handed. But it doesn't matter which hand you hold it in. Sometimes I will start cramping a little bit, and I'll flip over to the other hand. So let me see if I can get this way. Now, the pretty side is up, and so I'm going to do the same exact loop, 4.5 inches, and I'm going to gather it and hold it together at the bottom. So if you're not sure of your length, to make sure they're both the same, hold it in the middle, and then just pull up on those tails to measure those little rabbit ears. So we've got everything gathered here in the middle, holding it between my pointer finger and my thumb. Now, we always want the pretty side of the ribbon up, so we're going to twist, and it doesn't matter if you twist right or you twist left. Just make sure you twist so you can get this pretty side of your ribbon always showing. So my next loops, I am going to make 5.5 inches, so about an inch bigger than these two here. So just measure out 5.5 inches, loop it over, and then again scrunch it up and add it to the bottom of that same hold. You're never going to stop holding this. Twist it, and then do another loop, 5.5 inches. Loop it over and scrunch it up in the middle. And you want to test, especially when you first change your sizes, you want to always pull them up and make sure that they match. So there are 2 ribbons on each side. These ribbons measure 4.5 inches. These ribbons measure 5.5 inches. Now I'm going to repeat another 5.5 inch ribbon on each side. So twist, because we always want that pretty ribbon showing. And remember, keep that stack really straight, one right on top of each other. So remember, this is the same size as the one before. Gather it. Make sure they're the same size. See, I went out just a tiny little bit, so I'm going to move it up. And keeping that stack straight, I need to twist, because remember, I want that pretty side of the ribbon up. I have arthritis, so sometimes I get a little crampy in my hand. But if I don't pinch on it, I'm afraid I'll lose that stack. Some people can just hold it like that and do it. I can't. So, all right, so again, twisting so that pretty side of the ribbon is up, making it the same size as the one before. Oh, I already twisted it once. Okay, same size as the one before. So I just measure it there. Then I want to scrunch it up right there and add it to the bottom of that. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 loops, 3 on each side. We're halfway there. So the next set of loops are going to be 6 inches. So again, we want to twist because we want that pretty side up, and we want to measure out 6 inches. So you can see how we're just graduating just a little bit, so we can see all these loops when we pull them apart like that. So this time I'm going to do 3 on each side of these 6 loops, or 6 inches. Twist, measure out 6 inches, and scrunch it up, add it to the bottom, like that's not 6 inches. No, it's a little bit less than 6 inches. Let me pull that out just a little bit. And again, you can measure them by pulling them either down, those were closer, just to make sure they're about the same. That way you can tell. Otherwise your bow will get lopsided and you don't want that to happen. So twist. Let's do another one. It's easier the next one because you can just measure right up to the one you just did. And remember, you want to keep that just as stacked on top of each other the best you can. Losing that stack, then your bow gets kind of wonky. Twist. You can see when you don't twist, because that time I didn't twist and my bow, the ugly side was up. And then we're making another loop that's 6 inches, the same size as the one underneath it. All right, then we're going to twist. Do that again. Doing 6 inches again. Gather it up, pinch, pinch, pinch. Twist. Then another, oh, I already twisted. Then another 6-inch bow. And you can see, or loop, gave you just a little bit extra ribbon. So if that happens, and it probably will because I always try to do a little bit more, you can either pull it down and have another little tail, or you can just cut it off right after that pinch. But I'm just going to pull it down for now. All right, so let's just recap this and look. The top one, they're 4.5 inches. The next one, and there's 2 of those that are 5.5 inches. And then the next row is 3 at 6 inches. So that's the meat of your bow. Then remember we already did this part. So grab that and stick it underneath your thumb. So, and you want to make sure that these pretty sides are down so you can see them. You know, you don't want one to be the pretty side and one to be the wrong side. You want them both to be the pretty side. So I'm going to leave that down too, just to leave it down. So now we have to add these that we were holding. So we just scrunch them up here in the middle and stick them underneath there. So everything is stacked right there in the middle. Now you want to take your pipe cleaner, come over the top and pull it in between the 2 tails that you have hanging out on the top and the 2 that you have on the bottom. See, I didn't get it in between that one. Just want it in between there and keeping that stack. You want to always make sure you keep that stack. And then you just want to twist it. Twist your bow. Make sure you keep that really tight so that stays stacked. And then the next step will be just to pull all this out. And I'm going to show you how to pull all this out at the very end. But this is how you would do a hand bow. So I'm going to take this apart and show you how you'll do it on an easy bow if you have that. If you don't have an easy bow, just fast forward to the end where I will pull it all out for you and show you what it looks like. But I wanted to show different bow ways to make a bow rather than just a hand bow. So I'm going to do the easy bow. Now, if you don't have an easy bow maker and would like to get one, they're about $19.99, and you can usually find them at Michael's, Amazon, Deco Exchange has them sometimes. Hobby Lobby has them sometimes. So now this is going to be just a little bit different because we're going to start at the bottom and work up. Where on the hand-tied bow, we started at the top and worked down. So again, we're just going to take our tails, put them in the easy bow maker, and I'm going to make an X with them. So make an X, and then let's measure out our bow. And remember, we're going to start from the bottom. So the last bow that the last loop we made was 6 inches. So we want to do 6-inch loops. Gather it together, and you're going to see with this how much easier it is, because you're not, well, that's only 5 inches. You're not having to hold it yourself. This is holding it for you. So 6 inches. Gather it up and stick that down into your easy bow. Make the twist. And then this one's going to be 6 inches too. And what's really good about this easy bow maker is it has numbers right here so you can measure. And remember, we were going to do 3 on each side of the 6-inch part of the bow. Then making sure you twist it. Much easier on your hands because you're not having to hold all of that. But if you don't have one of these, it is pretty simple to make a hand-tied bow just as well. So we're doing 3 on each side, each 6 inches long. You know what? That looks a little bit littler than 6 inches. I think it'll be okay. All right, so we've got 3 on each side, and they're 6 inches each. So the next set is going to be 5.5 inches, and we're going to twist it. We're just going to go 5.5 inches and come in. Twist it, 5.5 inches. Come in. Okay, we're going to do 2 of those on each side for a total of 4 loops at 5.5 inches. 5.5, and then twist it. 5.5, and then twist it. All right, so that gives us 2 at 5.5 inches. Now we're going to do 1 on each side. That is 4.5 inches. So we've already twisted it, and we want to come in 4.5 inches and just do 1 on each side. And again, remember you had too much ribbon, so I'm just going to pull that ribbon down here and make a tail. But you could cut it off if you wanted to. All right, now we're going to add that center loop. Same way we did before, and we're just going to like crunch it up and then twist that out because you want them both the same, facing the same way. Okay, so there's that part of the bow. Then you're going to take your pipe cleaner, call it a paper clip, and then lift the bow. See your stack? You want to make sure that stays good and stacked, 1 on top of each other. Drop that over, and then you're just going to want to twist it. And again, I'm not going to pull it out on this one. I'll wait till I do it on the Bowdabra so you can see how to use a Bowdabra as well. So I'm going to take this back apart and do the whole bow again, but this time on the Bowdabra, and then I will fluff it out for you. So the same mechanisms. You want to half your ribbon and stick it down in here and the Bowdabra. And Bowdabras can be found at Hobby Lobby, Amazon. All right, so, and again, we build the bow the same way on the Bowdabra. The largest loops are on the bottom. So our largest loops were our 6-inch loops. So we're going to want to start with our 6-inch loops. And one thing about the Bowdabra is you don't have that measuring. That's what I like about the Easy Bow, is you've got that measuring that you can measure. So we're starting with our 6-inch loop. And same thing, we just stick it down in the middle of that, and then that's going to hold it for us. Another 6-inch loop. A third 6-inch loop. And make sure you twist it, because you always want to show that pretty side of the ribbon. A fourth 6-inch loop. Twist it. A fifth 6-inch loop. And then our last, make sure you're twisting it for the pretty side of the ribbon to come up on top. And so there's your 6, 3 on each side, 6-inch loops. Now our next is the 5.5-inch loop, and we're going to do 2 of those on each side for a total of 4. Twisting it so the pretty side will come up. And we're going to do 5.5 inches. 5.5 once. 5.5 twice. 5.5 3 times. 5.5 for the last time. Always twisting in between to make sure your pretty lemons are showing. All right, this next layer is going to be 4.5 inches, and we're going to do 2 of those, 1 on each side. Twisting for 4.5 inches. Twisting again for 4.5 inches. And then you can cut off what's left or use it as a tail. Then here is that center loop again, making it in half, coming down. And again, that's about 2.5 inches. But you want to twist so they're both showing the same direction and slide it down in there. So the Bowdabra comes with this handy little tool that you slide in there and just push it all together really tightly. Then you want to lift it out. And again, see that stack? Drop your pipe cleaner around. You want to twist it really tight because you want to make sure nothing falls off that stack. So there's your twist. And now you want to fluff it out. So we're going to pull those down here, do that center loop. And we've got these coming down. And then we've got these. This one was that extra one that I kept. So I'm going to put it down towards the bottom as well. And then I'll cut that off to measure wherever I want it to measure. And then we've got these 2 upper ones that we made. Now, Remember I told you could do those if you want. You can even pull them down and keep them coming down there if you want. Pull them out. You can put with wired ribbon, you can pretty much make it go wherever you want. And if you just slide your hands down like that on wired ribbon, it will make it really pretty. All right, so we want to pull this ribbon out. We're going to take our fingers and just pull it out just a little bit so it's not stuck down there on the side of each other. Sorry about that. Then we are just going to make the loops from the bottom. Remember we had 3 on each side. And again, just taking our hands and pulling these out so they're not laid down on top of each other. And here's the other side with those 3 long ones. Doing the same thing. So the whole idea is just giving your bow a little bit of love and not leaving them stuck down on top of one another. That one's moved out just a little bit so we can look at it like this. Do you see how that ribbon is all, and like I said, you can cut that off so it's not, but there's your bow. If you have any questions or you get stuck on anything, just give me, send me an email, a message, or send me a message on Etsy. But the link, if we have any more of these bow kits left, the link is in the description. Thank you.